Austin, Texas is constantly growing. People come here for the education, the city life, the jobs, and also the music festivals. With more and more people coming in, there will be environmental issues such as pollution, waste usage, and also the maintenance of the water quality.
To make things go round in Austin, Texas, energy, in form of dominantly electricity, is used for residential and commercial purposes. However, obtaining energy to serve the population is traditionally done by non-renewable power plants like natural gas power plants and also petroleum power plants. As of 2010, greenhouse emissions in Travis County, which Austin, Texas is located in, were estimated to be 14 million metric tons of carbon dioxide equivalent per year. Approximately 55% of those emissions were created through energy production, 35% were created through transportation, and 10% of those emissions were from the local landfills. Even though Austin implements clean energy such as biomass power plants and also solar and wind and hydroelectric power plants, the natural gas and petroleum power plants still dominate. Such non-renewable energy resources will contribute to bad air quality. Along with power plants, transportation greatly contributes to the emissions of pollutants in the air. Vehicles who give off diesel emissions have significantly contributed to the cancer risk in the area. A solution I have to help with the air quality in Austin is to not completely get rid of all the non-renewable energy resources, but rather to implement more renewable energy such as biomass, hydroelectric, solar and wind power plants all over the city. If we got rid of all the non-renewable energy power plants, then it will cause a huge economic disaster. So we want to slowly implement these renewable energy resources, and throughout the next century, those renewable energy resources will dominate over the non-renewable ones, since it will be a lot cleaner for the environment, and also the scarcity of the non-renewable sources like the natural gas and the petroleum will increase in price and possibly dwindle down. Along with increasing renewable energy resources, there should also be a decrease in extraneous transportation from cars and trucks. There will be a program that will help with this. This program will promote carpooling as well as promote the usage of the bikes offered all throughout the cities, and also the public transportation provided through the means of buses. Based on a survey we will give to the population of Austin, Texas, we will adjust and accommodate to how many bicycles and public transportation services needed to serve all those people. To incentivize the public to use alternative transportation, there will be a transportation tax added. However, every time they use an alternative transportation method, their name will be logged in, and at a certain amount of times they use the transportation provided, they will be eligible for a discounted in the taxes. They must continue to use the public transportation provided or the bikes provided in order to keep their discount. Through the program, the pollutants from the emissions will decline, since most of the population will be using the public transportation or the bikes offered. Not only the pollutant emissions will decrease, there will also be an increase of jobs provided to help construct such renewable energy resources, and also to help serve the public by being chauffeurs, those who can easily pay off the transportation tax. Their money will ultimately be used to help fund programs that will also promote clean energy. The success of the solution will be monitored through the electronic system I mentioned earlier This electronic system will track how many people actually use the public transportation, and also through monthly data reports from power plants, we would see how much emissions they produce, and also how much energy they can put out for the public to use. Because Austin, Texas is a fast-paced city that always requires some sort of energy to make it run. Another big problem that I mentioned earlier is that Austin produces a lot of waste. The population generates about 3,500 tons of waste every day. The waste ultimately ends up in landfills, which the landfills could leak and affect the quality of the water. The discovery of metals and microbial presence in the water could have a correlation with the waste in Austin. Basic garbage, yard trimmings, large brush, bulk items, construction and demolition waste all contribute to the landfills. A solution to help with the immense landfills in Austin will make trash, instead of being wasteful, into something that's useful. There'll be a program that will promote every aspect of recycling and reusing of any valuable material. The program will have control over the pricing, the collection, the disposition of the solid commercial waste, and also the commercial recycling, and also watches over anything that goes on in the landfill in a certain area. To actually make this happen, the most important step is to educate the people and also to enforce the waste and recycling rules to the population and to business. By contacting industrial facilities and manufacturers, we could ultimately help push them to recycle and reuse their materials, and also to promote less waste. Ultimately, by educating the population to go more green and to recycle, reduce, and reuse, they will have control over the producers, because the consumers will want to go for more greener products. So if the producer is pushing out non-renewable resources and not really recyclable materials, then the producer will be losing money, and the way to get back is to make renewable and recyclable items so that consumers will actually want to buy in order to promote less waste. Resource recovery sectors could stimulate more jobs, and all of this recycling could also help Austin create more environmental, eco-friendly infrastructure that will benefit the environment rather than destroying it. To see the success of this program, we will just have to measure how much waste is going to the landfills. And if there's less waste, that means that more items are being recycled and reused.